Also, Blois Olson is here, fresh off of moderating the one and only Minneapolis mayoral debate before the election in November. We're going to get some of his takeaways. It was about 90 minutes, 5 candidates, and they covered a lot of ground, so stay tuned for that. Also, a controversial data center is going up just north of Fargo. It's in the community of Harwood, and there's been a lot of pushback from the public, but the mayor says a lot of them don't even live in his city, so he's here to talk about that and the plans now that are moving forward. Ground is broken on this data center. And one of the largest college fairs in the country coming to the Twin Cities here in the next week or so. What you need to know if that is on your radar. The college application process, everything has changed a lot since COVID. So we'll talk about some of your options at that fair. Also, fall allergies. Do you have them? I don't know. There are a lot of people who are struggling with these things. You know, every week it seems to be a little bit different based on what's happening in the environment. But we're going to bust some of those myths and talk about how you can try to get some relief, hopefully. All right, let's get to it here. Starting things off with the debate that happened at 8 o'clock this morning. We streamed it live on our digital channels, and it's also up on our website right now if you wanted to go, and I believe our YouTube channel as well, if you want to go and watch it. And you can go through the whole thing. But really, this debate between the Minneapolis mayoral candidates this morning, there were 5 of them. There are 15 total candidates, but these 5 were there in a panel, a moderated panel. And it was put on by the Citizens League. You have Reverend Dwayne Davis, former pastor of Plymouth Congregational Church, State Senator Omar Fateh, incumbent Mayor Jacob Fry, company CEO Jazz Hampton, and then small business owner Brenda Short. So those were the 5 who were there. They debated a lot, everything from revitalizing downtown to public safety to rebuilding relationships with the city council. Here's just a little snippet of what they had to say, and we'll talk to Blois on the other side of it.
If elected mayor, do you keep Chief O'Hara? And if not, who do you replace Chief O'Hara with? Start with you, Brenda.
Yes, I would replace Chief O'Hara. And why is because he represents our city. He has made several statements negative about our city, and he has made no attempts to protect everyone, such as the shooting with the gentleman who was shot by a neighbor. It took him weeks, and said he was not going to bum rush someone's house.
Let's go through this quickly, Jazz.
Quick round.
What do you do? Quick round.
Yeah, I saw your interview yesterday about this. Actually, I am absolutely open to keeping Chief O'Hara, and what I expect is to hold him accountable to the level that I and the city believes is necessary. Some things I've seen have been troubling to me in the last several months, but it doesn't mean that the relationship is beyond repair. And frankly, I think that's something that's important right now in the city, working with folks, even if you have
Mr. Mayor, you were called out for replacing a woman and bringing someone in out of state, specifically too.
Chief O'Hara has my full support. I'm proud to have recruited him from Newark, where is a city where he was known for both reforming the police and driving down crime.
Okay. Senator?
I think it would be irresponsible for me to make that decision before the election.
Do you approve of the job he's doing right now?
I've had strong disagreements with the police chief, but I would have to meet with him, and I have to meet with the city council as well to come up with this
Okay, Reverend, on the chief?
Same thing. Everybody in the city enterprise will have to make a case for themselves, and if Chief O'Hara is going to be with me on my vision and where I want to go, sure, he has a good chance of staying on.
Let's keep the pace going. President Trump and the National Guard, would anybody support that?
Absolutely not.
No.
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 That was a lightning round.
Is Blois Olson, political analyst, CEO of Fluence Media, and of course one of the moderators for today's debate. Thank you for joining us. I don't know if you have any battery left after a busy morning. You obviously covered a lot of ground with these 5. I'd like to first, if I could, just go down the line with each of the candidates, and just based on performance, maybe perception, not policy, can you give us a strength and a weakness? And we can start with Reverend Davis.
You know, I think Reverend Davis is thoughtful. I think his weakness is he lacks specifics. I think that there's a lot of kind of broad statements of sounds good, but I just don't know if he's really got a specific plan if he's elected.
Okay, how about State Senator Omar Fateh?
Passionate, and he was ready for this morning. And I think his weakness is that he's been defined by the Democratic Socialist, and he hasn't done anything to counter that. But he says that he doesn't agree with them on all. But he lacks the kind of clarity on where he stands on key issues.
Okay, incumbent Mayor Frey, this is a different perspective because many people already know kind of who he is and what he's about. But how do you think he did?
I think he did fine. I would say his weakness is he's had the job, and there's a lot of mood of change out there. But I think his strength is that by data and I think by feeling, the city's in a better place than it was 4 years ago.
Okay, how about Jazz Hampton?
Really, I think thoughtful and energizing. I think he really understands some of the real issues of the city that frustrate business owners and small business owners. And then I think his weakness is just nobody knows who he is.
Okay, and then finally Brenda Short.
Her strength is she has a real lived experience, and I think represents the people who are too often unseen in the city. And then I think her weakness is, she doesn't have a lot of name ID, and her campaign operation is fairly anemic.
Okay. These five, I was curious, are these the five that are considered front runners, or how were these five chosen?
Yeah, we didn't, as a moderator, I didn't choose who would be there, but they are thought to be the front runners. They've shown traction or support. With 15 people in ranked choice voting, it's really tough to assess where the race is. But from polling that I have seen and fundraising, these were probably the top five.
Okay. A little bit on policy here, because I know you guys covered this extensively, but I'm just curious, broad stroke here, if you can tell us are some of these candidates overlapping? And I know that varies from public policy to downtown, but do you know what I'm saying? Are some kind of seeming to go in the same stream of thought, or are there outliers? Because they're all sort of either DFL, identifies DFL Democratic, or I believe Brenda, she didn't really have a party affiliation, but talked about transparency, social justice. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I would just say this. I mean, first and foremost it's a Democratic city. So the Democratic Party or those aligned with it are going to be more successful in this day and age in Minneapolis. The one thing that I don't know that viewers have seen or paid attention to is there's a clear alliance between Jazz Hampton, Dwayne Davis, and Omar Fateh. They campaign together, they have rallies together, and they gang up on Mayor Frey together. And I think that's where the overlap is. But I would tell you that in answering the questions and reading some of their comments, that they have some pretty significantly different views amongst the three of them. And so it looks like they're overlapping. But for instance, the answer on economic development for small businesses was very different between Jazz Hampton and Omar Fateh, but yet they both, talk about change, etc. So I would just leave it at that, is to say there is overlap, but they're still lacking the details of, if mayor, what would you do? So it's tough to see how the overlap would play out.
Yeah, just based on, again, not so much personality or performance here, but based on policy, is there a candidate here or candidates that you think would have more success with the city council? Because I think it's well documented that Mayor Frey and the city council have been at odds in a big way over the course of his tenure.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. There's 13 city council members, and what I would say, Amy, is that I think the dynamics of the city council may be shaped by who wins or loses the mayor's race. So for instance, I get the sense that if Senator Fateh is successful, I think the current council and the next council would be more aligned with him. On the flip side, I think that if Mayor Frey is successful, I think you could see some city council races flip as well. I get the sense that Minneapolis voters are much more in the mood for one direction for the city rather than a divided view of the city.
Yeah. And just really quickly, just for those, ranked choice voting is what we're looking at here for this. Can you describe kind of what that is, why it's used, and any pros and cons to this?
So it's you rank your top three choices. it means that you don't have a primary. So traditional election, you'd have a primary. That primary would bring you to 2 candidates. Those 2 candidates would face off in a general election. Ranked choice voting is one election that you rank your top 3, and then as the candidates lose majority or plurality at the bottom of the ballot, they drop off, and then only those left on the ballot are eligible to receive votes. So it means you could have something which is called kind of a whiplash on ranked choice, where somebody could finish second, but in the second or third ballot, they actually propel themselves to first. So the advantages that advocates say is that it's one election, that the elections are more civil, that it gives third-party candidates or outsider candidates a better chance. Critics would say that it's confusing, that ultimately you're not voting for a binary choice of winner and loser, but rather, you kind of get to be wishy-washy. And it may create what I talked about before, which is this idea that 3 candidates look like they're aligned, even though they might have policy differences, but they're all incentivized by teaming up on the incumbent.
All right. Boys, thank you guys. You covered so much, and I thought you and Mary Lehammer did a really good job of keeping things kind of on the rails, because these can go off the rails. But it was good to see this dialogue and disagreement you mentioned at the end. This is what it's all about. So encourage folks to go check that out. Thank you for your time today. It's been a busy day.
Thanks, Amy.
All right,
Talk to
take
you
care.
next week.
And you can watch actually the full debate we said on foxline.com, Fox Local app, also on our YouTube page, and well worth it. They got into a lot of details, things that are really important, I think, to people who are living in the city. So definitely go check that out. A couple of other headlines here for you before we chat with our friend meteorologist Keith Marler, who is here. We want to tell you about a man who made some threats against Waite Park Elementary in Minneapolis yesterday. That man has been tracked down, has now been arrested in Missouri. So Minneapolis police saying that this man threatened to show up with an AR-15 rifle and open fire, saying that he would basically shoot anything that moved. Investigators learned that the man lived just 2 miles from the school, and then they figured out details about his car, and with the help of license plate readers learned that he was actually in Missouri, and that is where he was arrested overnight. So Police Chief Brian O'Hara talked about this overnight, how they're handling the threats of mass shootings, even as crime, they say, is trending down.
The last few weeks have been terrible. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're standing here at Shiloh Temple on West Broadway, a church who had many times over years has had bullets hit the building here. In North Minneapolis today, year to date, we've had the lowest number of shooting victims since the city has been tracking shooting victims. South Minneapolis, the 3rd precinct, is still below the number of shooting victims this year compared to last year, as well as compared to the average of the last 3 years. So it is trending down. The only precinct that does have an increase in shootings right now is the 5th precinct, where the church shooting happened and where the numbers tend to be very low. So there's been a number of arrests for a lot of the violence that we have seen recently. 2 arrests were made for the encampment shooting. There's been 3 arrests, 1 shooter at the mass shooting outside Cristo Rey. There's been an arrest in the homicide that happened immediately before the church shooting. Early in the morning, it had up in an 8th. So there's been a whole lot of investigative work to get shooters off the street and to bring them to justice. And because of the mayor, we've gotten extra help now from the state to target the areas where a lot of this has been happening in South Minneapolis. We've got troopers committed to increasing police presence. We've got BCA agents. We've got sheriff's deputies helping patrol us. And the mayor has got a restraining order now, so that encampment can't be there, as well as securing the area off of 35 by Lake Street, which I'm sure the residents have seen has been the cleanest it's been in years. So we're doing everything we can to address the spike, but the overall picture is, yes, overall violence, all categories of violence still remains down year to date, as well as property crime. Yeah. The only increase the city has had year to date has been a slight increase in destruction of property because of the sprees that we had with kids going around breaking car windows.
All right, and Amber, you have a little bit of a kind of a tagline on this as we were talking about that threat at the school. There was some other incident in Golden Valley.
Yeah, I'm literally just learning about this. We're hearing from the Hennepin County Sheriff here. They are currently working on a weapons investigation at Highview Alternative School in Golden Valley. Somebody called in yesterday around noon saying that one student was threatening another with a gun at this school. One of those students was taken into custody, no further incident. Officers did recover a gun at that school there yesterday. Sheriff Witt saying here, another alarming incident in a growing wave of weapons-related threats in Minnesota schools this month. The fact that young people are gaining access to firearms is not just concerning, it is unacceptable. So that's literally just into our newsroom in the last couple minutes, Amy. That's all I know right now.
Okay, thank you for that update too. I know we saw, unfortunately, as what usually happens after school shootings, is you see waves of threats happening and things like that. But the interesting thing about the Minneapolis case that the chief was talking about is that they were able to track this person down even hundreds of miles away. And so really the messaging should just be you don't think that you're going to get away with it, because they will. They're working very hard to find you if this is something that you end up doing. All right, one more quick note here before we get to Keith. Wanted to mention this tomorrow. If you are interested, tomorrow morning, a couple of opportunities here to gather the prayer remembrance for the Annunciation victims and for that community as well. So 8:30 tomorrow is your first opportunity. A prayer service. This will be hosted by Annunciation leaders, and it's actually going to be at the Annunciation Wiffle Ball Field. So that's 8:30 tomorrow morning. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, there is an opportunity for the public to attend a solemn memorial mass, is what they're calling it. And this will actually be led by Archbishop Bernard Hebda, and that'll be at the Cathedral of St. Paul. So again, tomorrow morning, 8:30 and 10 a.m. for those two gatherings. All right, let's talk a little bit about our weather. And my friend Keith Marler is here. You look a little pink. You just look a little pink on the tip of your ears there and on your forehead. Did you get a little burn?
Got a little burn this week. Mowed the lawn Wednesday maybe. Yeah, I'll go with Wednesday. When it was just. I spent a lot of time outside this week. I go home from work and just spend the afternoons outside. Susan's subbing for most of this week, so she's getting out. She's getting home by 4:30 or 5, and Jack's at college, and Gracie's Gracie, and is in and out of class. And so I'm just left to my own devices. And when I'm left to my own devices, I don't know what to do with myself. So yeah, I go home, and it's beautiful outside, and it's the way it used to be, which is. But I don't remember that pattern anymore.
Yeah.
When you're left with the summer and the weirdness and everything else, it's like. I'm not into my pattern yet, and so I'm like, do I take a nap now?
Right?
Do I take a nap outside?
It's so beautiful.
That's nice.
Out. Yeah.
I'll go mow the lawn. I'll go wander around the neighborhood like an old
I know. I'm
shuffler.
forgetting to put the sunscreen on too,
totally.
because it's just not that. It's just not in your. Yeah, it's sunny out, but it's fall.
Yeah. 30 or 45 minutes is about burn time, but this was a long time. But if you're out there for hours, it'll get you still.
Good reminder.
And those angles are lower. The sun's coming in from creepy, weird angles. The shadows are in the wrong place when you're doing all your yard work outside. That's always gets me. When it's warm in the fall, it feels like, why is that shadow so long? Why is it in the wrong place? I don't know. But yeah, we got a good weekend ahead. Today's nice. I mean, yesterday we were 83.
Yeah.
83 degrees yesterday. Today, dew points are still incredibly low. Highs in the upper 70s today, 78 degrees for a high. It's just that simple. Tomorrow, Gophers game's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't care, to be perfectly honest. I mean, hooray for Minnesota. I have no problem with Minnesota. University of Minnesota is a great school. I have friends that are there. I have kids that are there. But the bosses are all over Minnesota. So I have to put a Gopher on my thing. If it were up to me, I'd put a Terrapin on there. I'm a Terp.
Oh,
that
would fly.
My son
for
goes to
about
St. Thomas.
2 seconds.
We
could go with the Tommy, but
I go with Tommy on there. Why do I care about a Gopher? Keith, it's Minnesota. Yeah, but I put a Bulldog on there. What's wrong with the University of Minnesota Duluth? What's wrong with a Maverick? That's Mankato.
I think we're trying to represent the largest
school, largest number of people.
Yeah.
We can't be everything to everybody. So let's be everything to the biggest number of people. Is that what we're doing?
I think so.
I'm going to put. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to sneak on there. The new goal is going to be during one segment of one of our shows, I'm going to hide a terrapin somewhere on the 7-day forecast.
Like a little Easter egg.
A tiny terrapin. That'll be the name of it. A tiny terrapin.
The tiny terrapin.
I'm going to dare you to find the tiny terrapin somewhere on this. Anytime you're going to see a gopher, there's somewhere on that day there'll be a tiny terrapin.
Okay, but not when the gophers are playing the terrapins, okay? Can we just
Oh no, that will the terrapin will be huge.
No.
For my 7-day forecast, it'll be up there on my name. Then, of course, Vikings play on Fox 9 on Sunday morning. That's in the morning. That'll be done by lunchtime. It will be in the 50s that morning. So if you're going out to one of those parties, it'll be in the 50s. So yes, sweatshirts required for that. 70s in the afternoon. But this humidity kind of comes back. It's okay if it comes back. We'll handle it for a day because it's not like it's muggy or tropical or anything else. It'll be all well and good. And then 80s and 70s. I mean, I don't know what to do with this as we go into the next week. I'm going to have to mow again. I had somebody write me today because I talked about how I'm going to have to put some grass seed down. And somebody sent me a note on Twitter, which I cannot stand Twitter at all anymore. And I'm barely on there. I have to use it to transfer graphics to myself so I get back on it again. I think it's a foul, awful cesspool of awful. And so I don't go on there anymore. I just don't like it. And so... I saw somebody I do sue people when they send me stuff on there though. They said, "Hey, I think it's too late in the season to grass seed." I don't know. I don't think it is because it's so nice outside. Yeah. Because of we're still watering, everything's still doing its thing, and the people that I work with to fertilize my yard, they're like, "Hey, dude, yeah, we'll come in the next 2 weeks, and it's still okay." Maybe they're trying to sell me something. I don't know.
How about that? All right, thank you.
By the way, Amber's back. I don't think she realizes that by having me on this show. She's used to me just kind of popping in and out, but now that I'm like here,
it's not popping in and out.
There's no such thing. I mean, the segment's called "Hey, Look, It's Keith," and so when you put me in here on this very casual, laid-back show, there's not really. I mean, this is what you're going to get. And so, Amber, are you there? I know you can pop in.
I'm always here.
I know you're always
I'm
present.
like the voice of God.
And the voice of Amber. Is number one. I think it's great that you're back. It's good to see you. At the same time, man, I cannot wait until she starts yelling at me. And then she sees me coming and she goes.
I can start hollering rap in your ear. Right now, I say it nicely.
She does. She says it very nicely.
Please rap.
But the eyes will start to roll a little bit.
No.
Rap.
No, rap. No, she's not. She's getting a little
rap.
Rap. What were we going to look at?
Baudette.
Oh, okay. Baudette.
It looks windy AF. Can I say that?
Is it? No. Amber!
Yeah!
Amber Milner.
What's going on?
Nothing. She didn't say anything. This is a live look at Baudette. When we come back, we're going to talk to the mayor of Harwood, North Dakota. That's right. He's here. We're going to talk about that data center. It's been a thing, Keith. It's been a thing. Also, I'm glad you're off Twitter. You could have just stopped following me, and it would have cleaned it right up.
You're rough.
I'm the cesspool on Twitter. We'll be right back. Hi, we're back. It's good to see you. It's 12:25 here on a Friday. We made it. It's finally Friday. We cover regional news here, and we cover just about everything because we started streaming. So streaming is worldwide, really. So we love to bring in stories from around the region that affect folks who may be watching in other parts of our state. And we go to North Dakota a lot. We go to Wisconsin, we go to Iowa. And one of the stories that caught our eye a couple of months ago is about a new data center that was going to be coming into the city of Harwood. And it is now official that ground is broken. Harwood's about a mile north of Fargo. If you know where the airport is, you just kind of keep going up a little ways farther and it's right there. But again, some headlines this summer, there were a lot of people who packed into a city council meeting upset because they say they didn't get a chance to weigh in on this data center. Well, we talked to some folks who've been investigating this from the Inforum, and we invited the mayor from Harwood to come on. And he's here. The mayor of Harwood is here right now. Mayor Henke, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So I guess there's a lot that we need to kind of unpack here. Tell me about that city council meeting. I know you were not there. You were there virtually, right? I believe that last one?
The last one, correct. Yeah, the last one I was over in Portugal, so I was not there. But the one before that, I was there when we had, I guess, quite a few people at our community center.
Okay, and yeah, so tell me about that meeting then. How was that, and what were you guys talking about at that time? Had it been decided?
No, we were taking a vote on whether or not we were going to change the zoning of that land from agricultural to industrial. And in order to do that, you have to have a public meeting. And so we did have a public meeting, and anybody who wanted to talk about the issue, talk about the rezoning, was allowed to have an opportunity not only at that forum, but also at the end of our city council meetings. We also have an open forum to the public. And the public was also able to express their concerns, if any, at that time as well.
Okay, so when did the idea first kind of come to the table, and then were there opportunities along the way for people to weigh in on whether or not they actually wanted it to come?
So the first kind of started to come in the middle of July is kind of when I first found out about it. And because the company that we're talking about, Applied Digital, that's the company that's building the data center, because they're a publicly traded company, they're subject to SEC violations. And so I did have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And so I was not allowed to talk about it until it was announced publicly.
Okay.
And so Applied Digital also had an open forum at our city hall. So anyone who had any kind of concerns or questions at all was allowed to, and that meeting went for as long as people wanted to talk about it and discuss it. And so there's been that public forum that Applied Digital held. There's been a city council meeting with opportunity for the public to weigh their input, and also a special meeting that was held a couple of weeks ago. Again, same. The public was able to express their comments and concerns or their support, which we've had a lot of.
Okay, and so then when was the decision made that yes, we're going to move forward? At what point?
So we finalized the rezoning a few weeks ago. There had to be 2 votes on that and 2 public hearings, and we finalized that a few weeks ago to rezone the property to industrial.
Okay. And I keep asking about the feedback piece of this because I think that is one of the things that we've heard in the investigation that the forum did. Was the turnout there for that open forum at City Hall? Like, did you see people kind of coming out and participating?
It was, and quite frankly, the vast majority of the people that are not in support of this are not from Harwood.
This is interesting.
They're
tell me
from
more about
Fargo.
that.
They're from Morehead State or MSUM. They're from Concordia. They're from NDSU. The vast majority of Harwood residents, I mean, the vast majority, are in favor of this project.
And that is a really interesting point here. So what specifically are the concerns that you're hearing, whether it be from residents, or I don't know if you can even decipher at this point the concerns of the actual residents living there? Not that somebody else's won't matter, but clearly the residents is where it matters.
And a couple of things. This isn't the first data center like this in North Dakota. There's one in Ellendale, there's one in Williston, there's one in Jamestown. So I don't know why this one is headline news, but apparently it is. And so the concerns primarily are water usage. Okay. Not a concern. Applied Digital uses a closed loop system. That big, huge building will use less water than an average household, an average family household. So the water's not a concern. The next concern would be power rates going up. The CEO of Cass County Electric has come out and said rates are not going to go up. And Applied Digital has agreed to expand the infrastructure as needed at their cost. So if that happens, rates might even go down for our residents. So that's not a concern.
And just sorry, one quick follow-up on the electricity. So are they generating their own power, or where are they getting the electricity?
From Cass County Electric.
Cass County Electric.
Yes.
Okay, so it does sort of intersect with the entity that would be giving electricity to the residents there.
Correct.
Okay, because some of these data centers have their own infrastructure where they they don't want to do that. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yep. No, and then the last thing is the noise, and the building is going to be a big concrete building, and everything that would create noise is inside that concrete structure. And it is still over a mile away from town, and it's to the southeast of town. And so the only thing that we would be, I guess, concerned of are blowers, like an air conditioning blower, and that would be on the roof of that building. So could there be some noise from the blower? Maybe, but we have the interstate that rolls through town. We have a county road. We have a highway that rolls through town. We have grain dryers in town. We have a train that goes by. So as far as I'm concerned, a blower is the least of our concerns for noise.
Okay. Did I read too that if it does become a problem, that they would foot the bill for walls and?
That's exactly right. Because I did speak with their CEO, and they've been, from my perspective, they've been great to work with. And they said, yes, if this is built and from these blowers that create noise, we will pay to put up a wall or any kind of structure that would, divert or deflect that noise.
Do you know why they chose Harwood?
I do. They need areas that have ample power supply, which we do. They like cold climates because these buildings do generate a lot of heat. And so those, I think, to me, are the main two factors. They also like to work with small communities. That's why their other facilities are, to my knowledge, in smaller communities like Ellendale, North Dakota, right? And so, they really, at least in my dealings with them, they view themselves as kind of a partner in the community. How can we help your community? What can we do to help improve, different things? I mean, I know in Ellendale they put a pickleball court. They've offered to put one up in Harwood. I don't know that our residents want one, but they're willing to work with the communities and to I guess, be a benefit to us as well as not just a negative. And I don't view anything about this project really as a negative. I know there's going to be some hiccups along the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, nothing really is all upside, right? So what would be some things that would potentially concern you or do concern you?
Well, the construction phase, I think, will be the most difficult part. I know they're going to have 800-ish construction workers in and out, and tradesmen in and out when that facility gets going. That is a lot of traffic. I will say, though, that we have, according to MetroCog, which monitors traffic, we have anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 vehicles going through town anyways. So we have worked with Cass County to work on adding turn lanes, like construction turn lanes, to avoid or divert traffic around town. But that would be a concern, is the increased traffic, but I think we've got that handled. And the potential, I'm not going to say there's not going to be any noise from the construction. I mean, there's going to be maybe some issues with that as well. But that's all I really see right now, and I guess we'll tackle it as we go.
Yeah. Talk about the benefits, because clearly, you're behind this. I don't know if there was any dissent amongst the city council members at all.
No.
So there must be a pretty big upside here for Harwood.
There is. So just so it's clear, Planning and Zoning unanimously recommended rezoning the property. City Council unanimously voted for this project as well as rezoning. The upside is, I guess there's multiple upside for me. There's the increased tax base. I mean, the tax revenue this building will create, or buildings, I should say, because they're going to build two. I mean, that's going to do tremendous things for our community. I mean, we're a small little community in a small tax base. We've kicked the can down the road on projects that really need to be done, and we said, okay, how long can we stretch these things out? When do we? And we kind of had a 10-year project for our roads and our sewer, and this is going to hopefully help us tackle those projects faster. It also help us with a growth plan as the FM diversion goes through, and I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but as the diversion goes through, we expect Harwood to grow rapidly, and so we would like to get ahead of that and have kind of a growth plan, and this money can be used also for our growth plan as well to make sure that we don't get consumed by rapid overgrowth, kind of like Horace, North Dakota experienced. And so that's kind of how we, at least financially, can benefit from it. These buildings also are going to provide about 200 jobs. And so that'll be a benefit.
What's the population in Harwood?
We're somewhere under 900.
Okay.
Don't know the exact number, but we're somewhere south of 900.
Okay.
So the growth with jobs will be wonderful as well. And those are the main things I see as upsides.
Yeah. How does Fargo feel about this? I thought I read something about Fargo saying it was going to annex the area, or talk me through what's going on there.
Yeah, Amy, I don't know how long you got, but I could talk about that for a long time. So Fargo did, under our nose, annex our property. So this building's in what we call our ET zone, or extraterritorial zone, and that is Harwood property. And Fargo did try to annex, or is trying to annex, our property and steal this project. I mean, that's the only other word I can say is steal. There's no confusion. It's our land, it's our property, and so we're fighting with Fargo right now. And why? They want the tax money. I've talked to Mayor Mahoney multiple times, and he's had several different deals that he had for me, and none of them benefit the city of Harwood. It's all to benefit the city of Fargo, and they want the tax revenue. That's it. And I think what's really important, I think that I want to get out there, is this project is going to get built. Okay? Whether it's in Harwood, whether it's in Fargo, or Applied Digital has a site 3 miles to the west of our current location. So it's not, okay, is it going to get built or not? It's going to get built. It's just a matter of where.
Okay.
And if we have to deal with the potential negative implications with traffic and different things within the city, we want the tax money. I mean, that's really the reality of it, because if Fargo gets their way and either annexes our land, it gets built in the same location, or Fargo's ET zone is just across the section line, not even, I mean, like right, essentially would be just one section line over from where they're currently planning to build it, or 3 miles to the west of our city. So we might as well get the benefit of having it right in our backyard.
Where does Applied Digital want it?
They want it in Harwood.
They do. And you don't think they're going to waiver? Even what if Fargo can offer them more, better?
Fargo has not.
Okay.
And so I've had meetings with the Fargo representative as well as Applied Digital, and so I'm not worried about that. Applied Digital is standing behind us. Harwood wants it in Harwood, obviously. Applied Digital wants it in Harwood. The landowners want it in Harwood. Everybody who's kind of a player in this wants it within the city of Harwood, and Fargo's trying to swoop in from and steal it from underneath us.
So where are we in that process? I mean, is there anything that you can do to stop them, or how will this play out?
Well, I mean, we're going to fight them all the way if we have to. If it has to go to an administrative law judge or whatever we have to do. Applied Digital has said that they will stand behind us and take care of any kind of legal consequences that result from that. And I don't know that Fargo will do the right thing and back off. I mean, it would be like us trying to annex, Hector Airport in Fargo.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, we're right there. It just doesn't make any sense. And I know what they're trying to do. I mean, I believe that they're trying to tie us up in litigation, make it difficult, so we play ball with them, and we're not going to.
All right. Well, to be continued. There's a lot here. But in the meantime, ground is broken. Timetable on getting this up and running?
I think I've heard 18 months.
Okay. Okay.
But don't hold me to that.
We won't hold you to that. But we'd love to just keep in touch with you and see what continues to happen here as it evolves. We really appreciate you taking the time to stop in today and talk to us about this. It's a story we've been following for some time now. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, reach out anytime.
Absolutely. All right. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. All Day Live continues right after this. Here you go. Is this Ireland? Live. Where is it?
That's where the Vikings are going to play.
That's where the Vikings are going to be playing. Look at this beautiful video that I believe Getty shot that for us. Didn't he? I think he did. Goody. Sorry.
Goody's over abroad. Getty's back here at home.
That's right. Thank you, Goody, for shooting this. We really appreciate it. Beautiful. We'll be right back. Welcome back to All Day Live. Happy Friday, everybody. Got good Friday vibes, we hope. It's just a gorgeous day. This weekend's going to be incredible. If you love warm weather, this is the one for you. You know what? Let's leave the comfort of this warm, beautiful, sunny day, and let's go 6 hours into the future and go to Max Fuller, who is in Dublin, Ireland for us. Max, we are on about a 2-second delay, so I'm going to try really hard not to step on you, but tell us where you are and what you've been up to today.
I'm at the Dublin port right now, kind of escaping the craziness, the kookiness, the chaos of the city center right now, Amy. You know me, I'm not one for the chaos anyways, but it is active and it is live here in Dublin. I thought it was lit yesterday. I thought it was lit the day before, but it is crazy here. I just read this morning they're anticipating 40,000 Americans, and obviously we're in Dublin. We're here to get pints. We're here to hear live music. We're here to laugh, and everybody is having a real good time. I was just at the Vikings bar a little bit earlier, and let me tell you, people are pre-gaming early, Amy. It is crazy out here.
Oh my goodness. Yesterday we talked to the president of the fan club for the UK and I think Ireland Vikings fan club, and a viewer had sent a question in about the Guinness in Dublin and asked if it tastes better in Dublin, and he couldn't even, he didn't even have the words to describe how much better it tasted. Do you have can you weigh in on that?
I mean, you're getting it straight from the source. It's like tapping honey or syrup right out of the tree. I mean, it's getting honey right from the bees. You're getting it straight from the source. It tastes a lot better when you're splitting the G, as they call it here in Ireland, drinking some Guinness with all your mates and all the lads and all the lasses. And let me tell you, I joked around with the bar. I said, "You guys are going to run out of Guinness." They said, "That's impossible, mate. That's impossible. There is no such thing as running out of Guinness." They're prepared, because obviously we know everybody in Ireland can throw down, but I think Minnesotans can throw down just as well ourselves, and we're gonna see. We're gonna test that theory and see if they do run out of some Guinness. But I know the storehouse is just right around the corner from the Vikings bar, so if they do run out, they can just jog on over there and get another couple of barrels full of Guinness, because they're gonna need it. Because if people keep partying like the way they're partying, like they were partying at 4 p.m. today, and I got there late. Apparently, the party had been started by the time that I got there. So if people keep partying like that, we're going to test that theory if they can't run out of Guinness.
Oh yeah, so 6:45 p.m. Your time right now. It's super windy right there, and you look really uncomfortable. Are you okay? Like, it feels like you're laying down, but yet you're trying to balance something. What are you doing?
I'm in this weird little. Sean told me that I can't move around as much. I was a little too active yesterday, so I'm going to try not to move around. But I'm in this little wind tunnel because it's so windy out here, and I know it's already bad. I'm in this weird little tunnel, but I'm trying to give you guys the better shot, because otherwise it's just kind of rust and random holes in this building. Again, not trying to move too fast, but so there's like paint chips. I don't know where I am right now, Amy. Honestly, I think this may be like a little mini homeless shelter. People probably walking by thinking I'm just a random homeless dude talking to myself. So I'm trying to get the bay in there without getting the wind in there, but apparently it is not working. I'm trying to get the afro. Maybe if I tuck some afro into the headphones by the microphone, maybe it'll block the wind a little bit. But I'm just trying to give you guys the best audio and the best visual possible, as much as I can with my face in it.
The extent to which you go for the good shot. But go ahead. You know what? Lean back, because I'm getting uncomfortable looking at you, because you look like you're not comfortable. No, back into the shelter. Lean back into the shelter. I think that actually helped the wind too.
Okay,
do that.
Okay.
Oh no, it didn't. Dang it. Well, we appreciate you going to literally the ends of the earth here, trying to get us that shot. What do you got for the rest of tonight? And then we're not going to talk to you until probably after you get back. What are you going to do? Game day? You got your plans set?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was considering going to, and I still might, visit another country. My goal in life is to visit every country in the world. So while you're in Europe, it's so easy to just hop over to other countries. I mean, it's like a $30 plane ticket, and boom, you're in Croatia, or boom, you're in Montenegro. That's the real name. I can say that. That's not me using a curse word or any type of slur. It really is named Montenegro. But I think I'm gonna hang out in Dublin because the vibes here are just so high, Amy. There's so many different Vikings fans here, Steelers fans. Even the Steelers fans have been pretty polite. I've been booing them every time I see them on the street, and they've been very polite about that. And we kind of just, other American football fans, we all know that what we're here for. We all just kind of nod and smile at each other. Everybody's just happy to be in Dublin, and this is why the NFL does stuff like this, right? It's growing the game, and all of us Americans just showing up happy, loud, laughing. How can someone from Ireland not want to be a part of that fun? And there is a lot of Irish American football fans out here too. I know a lot of people think that the NFL is really only America specific, but there's a lot of American football fans here in Ireland, and they're just excited for the game on Sunday as we are.
I'm excited. Can I get a quick prediction from you before we let you go?
Ooh, see, I've actually been polling people, Amy. I've talked to dozens and dozens and dozens of Vikings fans out here. Surprise, nobody's predicting that the Vikings are going to lose, but somebody actually they gave me a really interesting stat. They said KOC has only lost something like 3 games with a redheaded quarterback. So you got to go with the redheads out here in Dublin. I'm going with Carson Wentz and the Vikings putting on another beatdown, second week in a row. I'm going to say the Vikings win like 38-8. I don't even, the Steelers, they're so desperate. They went for a 2-point conversion. I'm going 38-8. We're shutting it down. We're taking it to our old foe, Aaron Rodgers, and letting them know, there's no vaccine for the L, brother.
We also have an O'Connell and a McCarthy leading the way. So maybe not McCarthy this time, but I think we're pretty aligned with winning in Dublin.
I think so too, but let me tell you, Amy, I joked around out here yesterday that there's no black representation, no black and gold. I'm afraid. The Steelers are deep out here, and I got to give props to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. They have activated so many different bars out here. They have specific Steelers in Ireland merch. I mean, the Steelers have really went all out, and the Hines family does have a lot of connections here in Ireland, Dublin specifically. I believe one of the owners of the Steelers actually used to be an ambassador for America to Ireland. So the Steelers have a lot of deep Irish roots out here. So there's a lot of black and gold fans out here, but I'm fingers crossed that we could at least get it 50-50. It felt strong, but Vikings fans, we're hardworking people. We're blue-collar people. We're nose-to-the-ground people. We can't just take Monday through Friday off. No. We're going to finish our work, and then we're going to pop in on Saturday for the game and go right back to doing our work. So I'm going to say the Vikings fans show up tomorrow. The Vikings fans outnumber the Steelers fans, and the Vikings are riding high as they head to Dublin next weekend.
Love it. We're going to end it on that note. Get back to it. It looks like you got a long ways to go back into the city, so take care, be safe, have a great time at the game, and we'll talk to you when you get back.
Thanks, Amy. I'll start my trek now.
Okay. Oh, poor Max. Oh, man. All right. Let's, you want to take a break, or are we going to hang here? And
let's take a quick break.
Okay,
please. First, though, Amy, Earth Cam. Shout out Earth Cam for this sick shot in Dublin. You look at those purple and gold balloons back there on the edge of the bar. There's a little black in there, but just don't look at it, right? So look at the purple and gold. We'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back. Allergies not just for the spring. Fall is officially here, so is another allergy season. So we wanted to fact check some of those myths that might be out there about those fall allergies with somebody who knows a lot more about them than we do. Dr. Premud Kalkar is an allergist with Allina Health. Been doing it for more than 20 years. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon and happy Friday to all of our viewers.
Happy Friday, right back at you. Let's talk about these allergies now. One thing that I think people wonder, are spring allergies worse than fall allergies? And what's the difference?
You know, spring allergies can be worse for those patients who have allergy to tree pollens. But fall allergies can be worse for those patients who have allergies to ragweed and fall weeds. So it just depends on what things you're allergic to. If you're allergic to tree pollens, then it's springtime. If you're allergic to grass pollen, it's summertime. If you're allergic to ragweed and fall weeds, it's fall time. And some patients have all year round allergies: dust mite, cat, dog, mold, everything.
Oh. How about this question about how much exposure you have to, say, ragweed or the trees? If you have more exposure, will it get worse? In other words, if you shut your windows and kind of stay inside more, will you be less affected by these things?
Yes, obviously, if you stay in a bubble, you won't have any allergies. That's true. But that's not practical. Even if you close your windows, you're going to be outdoors some part of the day and you will be exposed to nature, so you're going to have some allergies. So the best course of action, rather than closing the windows, would be to get the appropriate treatment.
And when do you know when you need treatment? Because you can maybe get a nasal spray or something like that. So at what point do you think you have to take it to the next level for treatment?
Well, obviously, if you're miserable with allergies like stuffy nose, runny nose, sneezing, itchy eyes, watery eyes, red eyes, if that's interfering with your work, your school activities, and anything in life, it's making you feel miserable, then certainly you should seek advice of a medical professional.
And how do you know if it's just a cold, you've got runny nose? The symptoms are so similar.
Yes, the symptoms can be similar, at least in the beginning phase. And many patients have that question. Common cold will typically start with same symptoms as allergy, but in addition to those symptoms, you will typically have fever, you will have headache, you will have fatigue and tiredness, you have feeling like lethargy. In case of allergies, it's mostly related to the sinus area, itchy eyes, red eyes, and allergies won't go away within 5 days or 10 days. They will be continuous. If it is common cold, you will expect relief within a few days.
And we are actually putting up an email address here. If folks at home have questions, to please email them in. We have just a couple of more minutes here, but I wanted to ask you about, is medicine the most effective? And then also a side question, are those nasal sprays addictive?
Yes and no. There are some types of nasal sprays. We call them as decongestant nasal sprays. An example would be Afrin and similar nasal sprays that are over the counter. They can cause rebound congestion or addiction if you use them continuously, like more than 3 to 5 days in a row. But there are other over-the-counter nasal sprays that do not cause addiction, and you can use them continuously. For example, fluticasone or Flonase, Nasocort. So there are a variety of them. So if people want to use over-the-counter medications, better to consult with the pharmacist when you purchase those medications.
Okay, and then you sometimes hear about people developing allergies later in life. Can you tell us how that happens?
Yeah, you can develop allergies at any point in life, although they are more common in children. But as an adult, you can have allergies for the first time. So allergies can happen at any time in life.
Okay, and then one more for you here. Can you outgrow them, and can they shape shift as they get, they change to some other kind of allergy or get worse or better?
Yeah, they can change over time, but completely outgrowing allergies is not common. But the severity of symptoms can change. For example, some people have severe symptoms in one season. Next season, they may feel fine. So the severity can change, but completely outgrowing, I would say, very uncommon.
Okay, well, thanks for busting some of those myths with us today, Dr. Hockert. This was super helpful to know. And yeah, we are those folks who suffer with this. You can see it a mile away, and it's so miserable. So we appreciate any insight that you can give us. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Okay, let's take a break. We'll do a little bit of peaceful moments here from the, well, maybe not peaceful, it's kind of scary. This is the Minnesota Zoo Pumpkins. Sorry, I didn't know there was scary music. We'll be right back. Welcome back to All Day Live. It's 1:01 as we head into our second hour here with you. We are waiting and watching for what looks like an event with Governor Tim Walz and Congressman Tom Emmer, both together on an announcement. So if we get to that, it sounds like our guests can kind of slide with us a little bit here. This is the event that we're waiting for, so we may take you there when that gets going. But we do want to talk about something that I think people are asking about. A couple of workers, 2, have died in the last week inside road construction sites. 29-year-old Pierre Mack died in an enclosed site after a boom truck hit him. This was just before 9 a.m., 35W Burnsville Parkway. And then yesterday, another worker died in a construction zone. This was Highway 610 and Maple Grove Parkway in Maple Grove. And in that case, officials say it looks like a contractor was on foot when he was struck by a dump truck. So those are the 5th and 6th construction-related deaths in Minnesota this year. We had a lot of questions coming out of this. So joining me now is Stacy Arnold, Director of Safety for Associated General Contractors of Minnesota. That's the state's largest commercial construction trade association. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on today.
You bet. So obviously none of us know what happened in these two incidents, and nobody's speculating here. What we wanted to do was learn a little bit more about how these construction areas operate, particularly as we look at these two, which were both, I'm calling them self-enclosed. I don't know if that's how you would do it, but Amber, if we could pull up just the first one here in Burnsville and see a little video, and Stacey, let me know if you can see the video when it pops up here. But describe to us this site.
So this particular project, there's actually multiple projects going on in this area here where they are replacing both a bridge on southbound 35W as well as the overpasses at Burnsville Parkway. So it is a very active construction zone. However, traffic is all rerouted off of the site. Okay. So it is closed to just the construction activities.
Okay. And clearly we have our aerials there after the incident, and so you're not really seeing any equipment or things like that there, but just wanted to give you an idea of what that site looked like. And then if we could look at the Maple Grove site as well, and I'm guessing it might be pretty similar here, but if we can roll that video, yeah, let us know kind of what we're looking at, and who was contracting this work, and where does it come from?
So this is another closed construction zone. You can see that the general public is rerouted out of the zone, so it is closed for construction. Kind of a long work zone area there. Both of these projects are publicly funded government projects. I-35W is a MnDOT project, and then the 610 Maple Grove is a city-led project that's done in coordination with MnDOT.
Okay. Well, you and I talked this morning, you've walked sites like this, construction sites like this. What are some of the biggest safety challenges facing these workers and employers?
Really, it's a lot with the size of the work zone and ultimately the public traffic that is traveling around the work zone. For these workers that do it every day, they're pretty used to that and those conditions. However, you bring somebody in that's outside of that, and it is very alarming when you have traffic whizzing by, sometimes on both sides, which is very limiting. And then the access that the contractors have to use to get at the work zone is obviously merging in and out of public that is commuting at that time, and generally pretty frustrated about the impact to their commutes.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about that here in a minute too. I follow a question here about when you're in that kind of a construction zone, what are you able to hear, or what are the sort of protocols for warning people? We know the one gentleman was killed by a boom, the other one run over. So again, not talking specifically about those, but generally speaking, what are the mechanisms to warn people?
Most equipment it has backup alarms and horns or strobes that would be visible to workers. PPE, high-vis reflective wear is required in work zones to help any operators see any individuals that are on the ground or moving around. But it is very difficult when you have the backup alarms going, and that becomes a constant in the workers' heads as they're working, so they can kind of tune it out. Also, just with the general noise of the regular traffic that's going around, it can help to drown out some of those other noises. Yeah. Boom trucks in their operation may not specifically have kind of an alarm or a sound as the boom is moving around, more so just when the vehicle is in backing modes. And if those alarms aren't working, there's supposed to be an additional spotter kind of guiding the operator in those zones.
Whenever road construction is announced anywhere, particularly the big long list of things that's going to be happening, it never goes over well with the public. No surprise there. Nobody wants it. Nobody likes it. There was even a state lawmaker who suggested, let's just go 24/7. Let's just get this done faster. When you heard that, what was your reaction to that?
Well, to be honest, it's frustrating a little bit. So more prevalent in our industry than actual occupational incidents and fatalities is mental health crisis and suicide. In 2022, I think we had 5 times more actual deaths related to suicide versus actual occupational deaths, and that's nationwide. So when we joke in Minnesota that we have two seasons, we have winter and road construction, and there's a lot of pressure on crews, which are often we don't have enough resources to meet the demands that we have currently the way that it is. But they're working long weeks, they're working long hours as it is. The ability for them to find work-life balance and time with their families is already very difficult and can contribute to mental well-being. And then the other thing with that too is industry-wide, if a worker does want to prioritize family first, they can often be kind of ostracized by their company and their peers for trying to take time off to be there for their family.
Yeah, I was reading about some of the statistics. It was shocking to hear the discrepancy in the number of suicide deaths amongst these construction workers. What happens, you know, we're running out of nice weather here. So after Labor Day, is the pressure even more immense to kind of try to get this stuff done faster?
Yeah, absolutely. We're running up on a lot of fall deadlines here for milestones to be reached. And then we also always have our plants that shut down, our asphalt and our concrete plants that shut down every year, which does aid into those pressures, those scheduling pressures to get the work done.
How can the rest of us kind of help? Obviously, we talk about these two incidents being in enclosed situations, but we all have been driving through kind of more open construction areas for months now. What are the workers, the members that you have who work in these types of construction sites? What are they telling you about how they're feeling? Are they feeling safe out there? And then what can we do as drivers to just help?
Yeah, it definitely is a challenge out there. I would just ask the general public to give all of these workers and all of these construction projects more patience. I mean, when you're whizzing through their office, when there's a speed reduction, it definitely does not help the workers to feel safe. So putting your phone down, make sure you're paying attention when you're driving through, and just obeying the posted speed limits, because oftentimes those contractors that are working in those zones, they're wishing that you were driving even slower than what's posted, and due to laws and constraints, they're not able to ultimately try and appease the public traveler. Yeah,
I think if anybody, you stand in one spot and watch a car go by at like 30 and it feels like you're crawling when you're in the car, but it is fast when you're just standing right next to it. And I think that's a great point to make. And we're not done with construction season yet. So nope. Yeah, we probably can't talk about that enough. Thanks for spending some time with us today and just helping us understand kind of from their perspective too what they're dealing with here. We appreciate it, Stacy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Take care.
You.
All right. Let's see. How are we doing on that presser? Okay. Okay, so this is political leaders, both sides of the aisle here at a major groundbreaking event for a company called Niron Magnetics. So the reason we're here is Governor Tim Walz, the Democrat, and Congressman Tom Emmer, the Republican, are both expected to speak here. And as long as we're waiting here, this company produces rare earth-free permanent magnets, which are used in cars, sound systems, air circulation, and more. So let's just listen in for a second, see where we're at, and then maybe we can gauge it.
Engineering, head of electric drive systems at Stellantis, one of the world's largest automotive companies. We have Dr. Shashank Priya, Vice President of Research at the University of Minnesota. We have Mayor Ryan Fitzum of the City of Sartell. We have Minnesota Representative Bernie Perryman. We have Minnesota Representative Tim O'Driscoll. We have Minnesota Senator Jeff Howe. We have Commissioner Matt Verelek of the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. We have the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, Lisa DeMuth. We have Representative Betty McCollum of Minnesota's 4th Congressional District. We have House Majority Whip, Representative Tom Emmer of Minnesota's 6th Congressional District. We have the Chairman of the Shakopee-Mdewakanton Sioux community, Cole Miller, and we have the Governor of the great state of Minnesota, Governor Tim Walz. Everybody, let us give them a round of applause! Woo! Oh, yeah. And so, at this time, we're going to ask everybody to please stand, and we will rise for the national anthem, which will be performed by the outstanding musicians of the Sartell High School Pep Band.
There is no.
Please be seated. The Pep Band is departing. As they do, let's give on three a Go Sabres. These are the Sabres. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, Go Sabres. 1, 2, 3, Go Sabres! Woo! Alrighty. We are kicking off our speakers today with the CEO of Nyron Magnetics, Jonathan Roundtree. Jonathan likes to say that his 30-year career taking new material technologies to market was an apprenticeship, preparing him for the biggest challenge yet, Nyron Magnetics, creating a solution to one of the greatest geopolitical vulnerabilities of our lifetime. And Jonathan, since arriving 3 years ago at Nyron, has been instrumental in taking us from a company that started in a Starbucks and at a university lab to a world-class facility producing one of the strongest magnetic materials known to science. And so now Jonathan is at the helm as we stand up Plant 1 here in Sartell, but also as we grow to Plants 2, 3, 4, more, and beyond. Everybody, let us put our hands together for Jonathan Roundtree.
Thank you, Tom, for the very kind words. It's just so exciting to be standing here today listening to the Sartell High School Prep Band play America's national anthem. And I was just reflecting on today and what we're actually going to build here next in Sartell, and it gives me goosebumps to think about it. I want to thank by thanking the band, thanking David Lumley, the band director, for their beautiful rendition of the national anthem. It's said that all good things begin with a light bulb moment, and Nyron Magnetics was no different. When the light bulb shone brightly 14 years ago in a lab at the University of Minnesota, where Professor Jianping Wang proved iron nitride technology was the most powerful magnetic material known to science. 3 years ago, when I joined Nyron, we were only 30 employees operating out of a 7,000 square foot lab in Minneapolis. Last October, we celebrated our pilot plant opening, where we had grown to 90 employees and 70,000 square feet. Today, we're proud to be here in Sartell at what will be soon our new 190,000 square foot manufacturing facility, where we are investing hundreds of millions of dollars, creating 175 new high-tech manufacturing jobs, and expanding our team to over 300 employees. But this development would not have been possible without our incredible partners. Thank you to our federal partners, the Department of Energy's Advanced Research Program Agency, or called ARPA-E, which supported the early research with the University of Minnesota and also supported our recent facility expansion in Minneapolis. The Defense Logistics Agency, the congressional delegation, and I specifically want to thank both the House Majority Whip, Representative Tom Emmer, and Representative Betty McCullum for their steadfast support and willingness to take a risk on a new technology that will reduce U.S. reliance on China and create supply chain independence. Without your foresight and commitment to driving new innovation, we would not be standing here today. Thank you. Thank you for the state of Minnesota's Department of Employment and Economic Development, the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation, and the wonderful city of Sartell, where we are proud to put down roots and grow. Thank you to our investors, the University of Minnesota Endowments, Artiman Ventures, Anzu Partners, the Shakopee Metawakan Sioux community, and the Pechonga Band of Indians, amongst many others, many of whom are here today to show their support. Most importantly, thank you to the NIRON team, who work tirelessly every single day to achieve our vision of becoming a leading global supplier of powerful, rare earth-free permanent magnets. I'm looking forward to us working and growing together to bring this facility online as quickly as possible. So what exactly is this breakthrough that everyone has been investing in? Well, it starts with something pretty simple: iron ore from Minnesota's Iron Range. Through advanced chemical and manufacturing processes, we add nitrogen to the iron and transform that into iron nitride, the strongest magnetic material known to science. The magnets we produce are clean, they're free of rare earths, and are being integrated into products we use all day, every day, including speakers, sensors, motors, cell phones, and cars. Our partners like Samsung, Magna, Stellantis, and GM are using our magnets to build the next generation of products built on a secure, stable supply chain here in the US. While others are trapped in the paradigm of mine-to-magnet production, NIRON has done what the US does best and innovated towards an integrated end-to-end solution, converting Minnesota iron into magnets. There are three key things that I'd like you to remember. The first one is we are secure. We source 100% of our inputs domestically and eliminate dependence on China-controlled supply chains. We are powerful, delivering breakthrough performance with the next generation of permanent magnets. And we are sustainable, offering a clean approach to magnet production and at scale, not needing to be subsidized to be successful. And this, today, is just the beginning. As we break ground on Plant 1, we are not just building the world's first iron nitride magnet facility. We are launching a new American industry, and we are starting it right here in Sartell, Minnesota. The future of U.S. innovation looks bright, and it's powered by NIRON Magnetics. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Our next speaker comes to us as one of NIRON's key commercial partners. You see, magnets actually do not change the world when you make them. They change the world when they're designed and built into powerful machines. And so Dr. Sinisa Jurkovic is an expert in designing and building magnets into powerful machines, who today leads a world-spanning team of experts who design and build magnets into powerful machines. This man is a luminary in his field. He has spent decades at the helm of the world's biggest automotive companies, shaping the future of mobility. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Sinisa Jurkovic, Vice President of Propulsion Systems Engineering and the head of electric drive systems at Stellantis.
Thank you, Tom, for that very, very kind introduction. And thank you, Nyron team, for allowing me and Stellantis to be part of this important day for you today. On behalf of Stellantis, I would like to congratulate the Nyron Magnetics and the City of Sartell on this important event today. But today, it's not just about groundbreaking and about a new facility. It's also about innovation and technology and building a significantly stronger technology ecosystem that we are extremely proud to support at Stellantis. Innovation is a driving force behind everything we do. It's a driving force behind our brands like Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, and Jeep, and the vehicles that we deliver to our customers that are unlike anything else on the road today. It gives our customers what they want, and most importantly, it gives our customers opportunity to choose, the freedom of choice, whether they want high performance, comfortable pickup truck or an SUV with a hybrid power that's capable of scaling off-road trails and so on, to an ultimate American muscle that has enough rumble to wake up your neighbors every morning when you start it, if that's what you want. But we can't develop these ultimate vehicles without breakthrough technologies like Nyron magnets. That's why we are here to celebrate with you, and that's why Stellantis Ventures invested in Nyron 2 years ago. We believed in their vision to create rare earth-free permanent magnets, and we believed in the potential to scale them for use in automotive applications. Their technology delivers the performance we need using simple, abundant materials like iron and nitrogen, and in a very elegant way eliminates the dependency on volatile rare earth materials that have been traditionally dominated by overseas production.
And again, we're live in Sartell right now, where we are hearing from some folks from that company. And while we're doing that, I just wanted to let you know about a story that's developing right now, and we'll head back to Sartell when the governor and some of the other politicians start speaking. But we just got this into the newsroom, and this is from Des Moines, the public school, Des Moines Public Schools. It looks like the superintendent of schools, Dr. Ian Roberts, has been detained by ICE agents this morning. The school is saying that they don't have any confirmation information as to why Dr. Roberts is being detained or any potential next steps. Obviously, they say their priority is to provide a safe, secure education for students. Let's see, they are just letting people know in that district that the protocol is that the Associate Superintendent, Matt Smith, is going to be taking over in this case. So let's see, I am just looking here to see. There's really no other information in this one. They tweeted something out, sent out a statement. That's from Jackie Norris, the board president of Des Moines Public Schools. So again, story that we are tracking is Dr. Ian Roberts, who is the superintendent of schools for Des Moines Public Schools. Looks like he has been detained by ICE, and there's no other information that the schools were given and that we have at this point. But we are following that. We'll continue to bring you more updates. Amber, did we want to go back to Sartell, or do you want to go through a couple of other
experts in material science
let's see who we're getting here.
And in clean energy technologies, and in making ideas go from the earliest stages and bring them to you and to reality. So please welcome to the stage Dr. Shashank Priya, Vice President of Research at the University of Minnesota. Give it up for Dr. Priya.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to join you here in Sartell for this very milestone of groundbreaking the Nyron Magnetics new facility. And on behalf of University of Minnesota, President Cunningham, I offer congratulations to Jonathan and the whole entire Nyron team, and thank you all for being here today. We are especially grateful for many partners who made this possible: our local community leaders, state leadership, federal and tribal partners, and our industry colleagues. Your support reflects the broad coalition it takes to move discoveries from lab to the marketplace. Now at the university, we are very, very proud of Nyron Magnetics, as it's one of our own babies. It was born out from University of Minnesota's research lab, led by a leading professor Jianping Wang, who is here with us in the audience today. The science of this whole material that you've been hearing about is really remarkable. For a long time, this material was controversial and enigmatic material, very difficult to synthesize. I think it's the persistent approach of Professor Wang and his students that unraveled its physics and material science in 2010. And it took about 14, 15 years to reach the place where we are because of the tremendous transformative leadership of folks like Jonathan and others. Actually, I was riding in a car with Jianping Wang here. It's a 1.5-hour drive. And he already gave me an idea for the next company he's forming. It's amazing. He told me he only took sabbatical 3 times in his life. The first 2 times was to get Niron started. And look where we are. And now he's on sabbatical to form this next company, which he said is going to challenge NVIDIA's GPU. So sorry, Jianping Wang, to put you on the spot there. But this story is more about people than it's about materials. This collaboration is training the next generation of scientists, the engineers right here in Minnesota. Hopefully will produce very quality workforce that can be employed right here in Sartell and can advance to the next generation of materials beyond what we are seeing here today. And hopefully these jobs that will be created will allow us to secure more vendors and suppliers and more businesses to migrate here and create a community of economic development here. As pointed out earlier by my other speakers, this is about national security. This is about securing critical supply of materials. And this is about reinforcing American leadership in manufacturing. And all these are converging at one spot right here in Sartell. I think this technology that we will demonstrate will put us right back in competition with none in this world. Hopefully, will not only promote things that we know about, but these magnetic materials will launch new generation of products that have yet to come and will inspire many more at the university to take interest in driving new material science. So congratulations again to Niron, and the University of Minnesota is so proud to stand with you here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Priya. Running with the theme of people who make breakthrough technologies, if you're not picking up on a trend, we're going to have a few of those folks. Our next speaker leads one of the most forward-thinking agencies in government. And so this is a group who does not just swing, they take home run swings, and more often than not, they hit home runs. So this is the Advanced Research Projects Agency for the Department of Energy, or ARPA-E, and they're an agency who does not just play the game, they change it. The breakthrough technologies in the energy sector from the last decade and for the next decade are, with small exception, linked to this agency. We're going to bring up to the stage one of its leaders. This is the acting director of ARPA-E, Dr. Daniel Cunningham. Put your hands together.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniel Cunningham, and I'm actually the Deputy Director for Technology at ARPA-E, and we're having a new director actually sworn in today, so that's an excellent occasion for us. But let me begin by thanking our host, Niron Magnetics, for inviting me to speak today on such an exciting occasion. I'm really thrilled to be here with our fellow speakers and all of you for this celebration. At ARPA-E, our mission is straightforward, but ambitious. We like to take bold energy ideas and turn them into technologies that strengthen America's energy security and economic leadership. We do this by helping those technologies progress from concept to prototype to market, to make a difference, to be impactful. So we're proud to see that the technology that ARPA-E first supported through our REACT program in 2012 is today the reason Niron is breaking ground on a full-scale production facility. Increasing how efficiently critical minerals are used and discovered, and discovering viable alternatives has long been a focus for ARPA-E. Niron's pioneering work with iron nitride, the world's first rare earth-free magnet, strong enough to replace traditional magnets, set them apart from the very beginning. This is why, once the technology was proven and Niron was ready to scale to the next step, we selected them for our Scale Up 2021 program. We created the Scale Up program to address the scaling gap and help previously funded ARPA technologies advance from prototype to commercial scale, going through that valley of death. The results speak for themselves. Major commercial partnerships, recognition on Time's Best Innovations list, multiple top tech award honors, a pilot line in Minneapolis, which I was very happy to be at last year, and now today's groundbreaking. Some fantastic achievements. And today's celebration is especially timely. The United States is making major steps to reshore critical materials, investing in domestic mining, processing, recycling, as well as advanced materials like Nirons, to reduce dependence on foreign supply chain and strengthen national security. So ARPA is proud to play a role in supporting this work, continuing our decade-long journey with breakthrough technologies driving the innovations that will secure America's critical mineral future. So this facility represents an important step forward. By serving industries from motor manufacturing, consumer electronics to defense, it shows the broad potential for rare earth-free magnets to transform multiple sectors. So congratulations again to Niron, and we're eager to see what the future holds for you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Cunningham. Now we will hear from the leader of the community that will be home to this transformative facility. He's a longtime advocate for economic development and sustainable manufacturing, and someone who we are proud to recognize as an incredible partner and a visionary community leader. Please welcome to the stage Mayor Ryan Fitsum.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the City of Sartell, it's my great honor to welcome you to our community. Today marks more than just a groundbreaking and a new era for Niron Magnetics. It marks the start of an exciting new chapter for the City of Sartell. For those of you who may not know Sartell's history, this very site supported a former paper mill that stood at the center of our community for more than a century. It was our largest employer, a source of identity, and a pride for generations. Quite literally, the reason Sartell started. Its closure in 2012 left both an economic and emotional gap within our city. That is why today is so meaningful. With Niron Magnetics choosing Sartell for its first full-scale production facility, we're bringing new life to this land. This investment will create hundreds of high-quality jobs, strengthen our tax base, and reaffirm Sartell as a hub for innovation, sustainability, and advanced manufacturing. To Jonathan and your leadership team, the board of Niron Magnetics, thank you for choosing Sartell. You had many options, and we're proud that you saw the promise within our community. What you'll find here are hardworking individuals with a robust business community, a city dedicated to your long-term success. Our community also owes a debt of gratitude to the following key contributors. The Sartell City staff, led by and especially our city administrator, Anna Gruber. Our Sartell School District, led by Dr. Rivard. Natalia and her staff at the Greater St. Cloud Development Corp. Our Sartell City Council members, both past, present, your dedication absolutely made this possible. And finally, our local business leaders, their diligence and commitment in showing Niron Magnetics what Sartell and Central Minnesota region are all about. 443 days ago, Niron Magnetics made their first visit to Sartell. Since that date, I've held a certain phrase close to my chest, again for the past 443 days. So today I'm excited to be at this podium to shout out Niron Magnetics. Welcome home to Sartell. In closing, this site will be transformed, which once anchored our past will become the foundation for our future. Thank you.
I'd like us to give it up one more time for Mayor Fitzum. We are honored to have strong bipartisan congressional support for this project. I now have the pleasure of introducing a true champion of American energy and manufacturing for over 2 decades in Congress. She is one of Niron's most long-standing vocal and constant supporters. Please welcome Representative Betty McCollum of Minnesota's 4th District.
Tom said to me when I walked up here, and this is true, when it comes to projects in Minnesota, as the dean, getting to work with the whip, we do this in a nonpartisan way. So good afternoon. It's great to be in Sartell, and I have been looking forward to today because it's quite an achievement that we are celebrating together for Niron Magnetics under the leadership of Jonathan Roundtree, and for the state of Minnesota, for our country, and yes, for Sartell. Today we break the ground on the first scale large production facility for the world's first rare earth free permanent magnet. Now I'm a teacher. You're going to hear that a number of times. There's a test after this. There's a reason why there's permanent in front of magnetics. If you don't know the answer, Jonathan will fill you in. It's an incredible achievement for Niron, a company born right here, as was pointed out, at the University of Minnesota. To the Niron team, the first 30, many of you I've met, you've made research and development efforts in manufacturing a reality today. You never gave up. This facility in particular is going to send a message to our nation and to the world that Minnesota can meet any technology challenge, because we must ensure the economic and national security success for the American people. In Minnesota, we need to play our part in that, and we're doing that today. But even as we celebrate here, there's more work to be done. The kind of work that we need to be done, we know what it is. It's what do we do to make our supply chains not vulnerable to China? We know that the Chinese restrictions on critical materials have already put us in a permanent magnet crisis. This is a crisis. It's a crisis because America's economy and our defense industrial base require tens of thousands of tons of magnets. They're everywhere. They're in your cell phone, and your cell phone has more than one of them in it. So the challenge for Niron, for Minnesota and our nation, now that the construction's underway, Niron, we must support and work with you to find a location for their nearly 10,000-ton full-volume manufacturing facility and the facilities to come. So there's going to be a $1.2 billion facility, and it's going to be built somewhere in the United States. And Governor, Representative Emmer, I think we can do it right here in Minnesota. So we need to work together, not in a bipartisan way for this, for our national economic security and our national security. We need to work with local governments. Thank you, Your Honor. And I was a city council member. Thank you, City Council. To make sure that state and federal and the private sector that's here today work together, to make sure that Niron's next facility and the tens of thousands plus jobs are created right here in Minnesota. And I want to just take a second. I love history, so hearing that there used to be a paper mill here and that it burnt down is something to see this being built here. but as we are here together with our brothers and sisters from Shakopee. It is so wonderful to see you making an investment in our state, in our economic security, and in our national security. We thank you so much. So, let me close with this. You have my commitment. You have Tom's commitment. You're going to hear from our state partners later. Let's go, Minnesota. Let's get the magnets stuck together.
Thank you, Representative McCollum, for your steadfast support of American manufacturing and for firing us all up, just to say it. We are also joined by another person I'm excited to welcome to the stage, someone who understands the value of working both smarter and harder. We're going to welcome up Representative Tom Emmers from Minnesota's 6th District. This is the district in which we are gathered today. A strong advocate for innovation and for economic growth here and in greater Minnesota. Let's put our hands together. Please welcome Representative Tom Emmers.
Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon. What a day. It is an honor to join you in celebrating the groundbreaking of Niron Magnetics' new manufacturing facility right here in Sartell. And by the way, Betty, that $1.2 billion looked really good right here in Sartell. This is the first large-scale manufacturer of rare earth free iron nitride permanent magnets in the world. Think about that, right here in Sartell. It's also great to see so many of our wonderful friends from the Twin Cities out here in greater Minnesota. It just makes me think, contrary to what some people might say, we have a lot more to offer out here than just rocks and cows. Nothing proves that better than today's monumental event. I want to thank Jonathan for inviting me to be with you today. I want to thank all of the partners that have made this possible, including Mayor Fitzum, Congresswoman McCollum, our local legislators, and the entire Niron team for all your hard work in making this project a reality. This is an exciting moment, not just for Sartell or Minnesota, but for the future of American manufacturing, innovation, and energy independence. I'm proud of this state-of-the-art facility, and more importantly, the fact that it's going to be built right here in Minnesota's 6th Congressional District in the heart of our great state. Niron is a Minnesota-born success story. Developed, as you've heard, from the University of Minnesota's Venture Center, Niron has attracted more than $100 million in private investment, and their technology has actually been recognized by Time magazine as one of the best innovations of 2023. They've developed powerful, rare earth-free permanent magnets that will power our vehicles, energy infrastructure, and defense systems while securing America's supply chains and curbing our dependence on foreign manufacturers. I had the privilege of touring Niron's headquarters in Minneapolis last month, where I spoke with company leaders, met with employees, and witnessed this high-performance technology firsthand. Niron is revolutionizing industries that depend on magnetic technologies. And by continuing to invest here in Minnesota, they're also growing the local economy and supporting our community. This facility will bring hundreds of good-paying jobs to Stearns County, and it's the biggest commercial investment in Sartell since the old Verso paper mill. That's real opportunity for Minnesota families and real economic growth for our state. It's nothing short of transformational, and it didn't happen by accident. It was made possible by strong partnerships between Niron and their dedicated workforce, local leaders, and bold action in Washington. Thanks to the pro-growth, pro-manufacturing provisions in the Republicans' Working Families Tax Cut, businesses like Niron have more opportunities to expand right here in the United States. That legislation includes dozens of tax initiatives designed to jumpstart our economy, protect American workers, and revitalize American manufacturing. In Minnesota, we know how important the manufacturing industry is to our way of life. The Working Families Tax Cut was created with manufacturing in mind. It contains key wins, like full expensing for new factories and factory improvements, full expensing for domestic research and development, full expensing for new capital investments like machinery and equipment. It makes permanent Section 199A, and there's no tax on overtime, all of which unleash opportunities for Minnesota manufacturers like we've never seen before. Jonathan summed it up best when he said that our Working Families Tax Cut provides the incentives that companies like Niron need to power innovation and stay globally competitive. Today's groundbreaking ceremony is not just a win for Niron, Sartell, or our state. It serves as a reminder that American manufacturing is booming again under President Trump, and I'm proud to see Minnesotans are leading the way. Thank you again, Jonathan, and everyone else for inviting me to join you today, and congratulations on this remarkable achievement. Please know that you have fierce advocates in Washington, D.C., and our door is always open. Thank you for bringing Niron to Sartell.
Thank you, Representative Emmer. We are also honored to hear today from Senator Amy Klobuchar, a longtime leader on competitiveness and manufacturing policy. Today, Senator Klobuchar will be joining us via video, justifying these giant screens. So, let's put our hands together.
Hello to everyone in Sartell, there for the...
Let's hold for a second, and then maybe put our hands together for Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Hello to everyone in Sartell, there for the groundbreaking of Niron's Plant 1 facility. You know, just a year ago, I was there when they did the ribbon cutting on Niron's 70,000 square foot pilot facility in Minneapolis. And today, you're taking the next big step, breaking ground on a 160,000 square foot manufacturing plant that will create more than 300 construction jobs and 175 permanent jobs. That's a big deal for Sartell, but it is also a big deal for our entire state. You know, our state brought the world everything from the Post-it note to the pacemaker. And thanks to you and your work with the University of Minnesota, we can now add the world's first clean earth magnet, a high-power magnet produced without relying on other countries for raw materials. That's good for our supply chain, good for our environment, good for Minnesota manufacturing. No wonder Time Magazine named it one of the best inventions of 2023. 3, you're already putting the Post-it note to shame. These magnets are in everything from the phones in our pockets to the cars we drive to the HVAC systems that keep us cool in the summer and warm in the winter. And when you're making things that aren't only good for the economy, but the environment too, we should support that. That's why I work to pass legislation with tax credits for companies that make sustainable products like these clean earth magnets. I'm also working to get workers the skills they need to fill engineering and manufacturing jobs through apprenticeship skills training in 1- and 2-year degrees. After all, we aren't going to have a shortage of sports marketing degrees in our country. We're going to have a shortage of engineers, technicians, computer manufacturers, and manufacturing workers. To make sure you get your goods to market, I will also keep working to strengthen our supply chains. I know Congressman Emmer cares a lot about that. We work across the aisle together. We're actually friends. And I know we can ensure that we will remain a country that makes stuff, that invents things, that exports to the world. Niron could have picked anywhere in the country for this facility, but they made the right choice putting it in Sartell. We don't mess around when it comes to manufacturing. Congratulations on breaking ground, Niron, and I cannot wait to see the plant all in action, filled with workers. Thank you.
For all of those with sports marketing degrees, there's a first aid tent in the back. Thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for that strong message. Let's give a clap that maybe she can hear. Let's really try it. There are, as you've seen, a lot of groups that we wouldn't be here today if not for their support. And our next speaker leads a group who stands out as exceptional even in that category. One of NIRON's earliest investors was the Shakopee-Mdewakanton-Sioux community, SMSC, who saw the vision when it was, truth be told, barely more than a dream. SMSC is now one of NIRON's closest partners today, having brought that dream to life, and now helping us bring it to the world. We're privileged to be joined by Chairman Cole Miller of the Shakopee-Mdewakanton-Sioux community, whose leadership and partnership have been invaluable to our success, and who represents a community with a proud tradition of both environmental stewardship and economic innovation. Let's put our hands together. A round of applause as we welcome Chairman Miller.
Homitakiapi. Chante Washtea na Pechiuzapido. Thank you all for inviting us today.
And we're rounding out our hour here with you, and we'll continue to stream this on our Fox Local app. Wanted to bring you a couple of headlines, things that we're following here with just a couple of minutes left. There have been charges now filed in that encampment shooting in Minneapolis on the private property owned by Hamoudi Sabri. This is the battle with the city. The shooter, we're learning from these charges, had just gotten out of the Hennepin County Jail at 6 o'clock that evening, and the shooting happened at 10. Said that he went to the encampment to buy drugs. There was some sort of argument over whose territory it was to sell and buy drugs at the encampment, and the shooter admitted that he was a drug dealer from Illinois who started selling in Minnesota, specifically in that Midtown Greenway area in Minneapolis. That is the corridor that has caused a lot of problems. There's been a lot of violence there. In fact, it was shut down after there was a mass shooting about a week and a half ago. When they shut that down, the shooter says that they moved their drug sales to the encampment. So that's what we know there. Really quickly, Des Moines Public Schools superintendent has been detained by ICE this morning. The school saying that they don't have any additional information there. So we're keeping an eye on that story as well. And then also charges just filed here against Winona State's head women's tennis coach for possessing child pornography. So these are some of the stories we're following. We want to have you continue watching this. We're going to round out here at 2 o'clock, but you can go to our Fox Local app. Also, our YouTube channel is where we are going to continue streaming this press conference in Sartell, where, as you can see, nonpartisan, really big deal for the community of Sartell as they're welcoming this new manufacturing plant. So thanks for being with us here on All Day Live today, and we'll continue this. Your programming will continue if you're watching on television on Fox 9.
This facility also represents a significant milestone for the future of manufacturing. When completed, it will be clean, carbon neutral facility that will serve as a model for low footprint, environmentally conscious manufacturing. Our belief in NIRON's mission is why we've supported the company from the very beginning, and why we were pleased to make a third major investment earlier this summer. Congratulations once again to the team here at NIRON Magnetics, and to everyone whose hard work and vision have brought us to this moment. The SMSC is proud to stand with you today, and we cannot wait to see what grows from this new innovative facility. Wopi Tatanka Mitake Iwasan.
Thank you, Chairman Miller. We've got one more speaker left today, and one little preamble before we bring him up, which is just one more thank you to the NIRON team. And so I'm just going to talk directly to my colleagues, all of you, to whom it's truly an honor to work with. This happened against all odds. Back in 2012, when innovative magnet projects got funded, there were more than a dozen. One of them exists today. And in the interim, there were many people who tried. One try is becoming a success today. And that doesn't just happen with hard work. It doesn't just happen with luck. It just doesn't happen with skill. It takes all of the above. So for the luck, thank you. But for the skill and for the hard work, it's fantastic to show up every day and look around and be able to appreciate that we're only here because of each other. And what's more exciting is looking ahead, because there is a lot of work to do. There's going to be a factory here shortly. There's going to be factories around the world. We've made the first of these magnets. There will be dozens. We've put them in some machines. They will be in our homes, in our cars, and in our factories. And when I look at you as a team, I know we can do it. So one more round of applause for the Niron team.